Hello, this is Sidney Potter from Potter Equities, Pasadena, California. Thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate that today. I've been asked to comment just briefly on how to get a mortgage when relocating. That's something that you may or may not come upon, but certainly if you do, I think you're going to find this very valuable, or rather invaluable, in terms of information that I can get to you that's going to make the process a little bit more fluid. First and foremost, if you're anticipating a relocation and you have to get a mortgage loan, go to your employer. They have what you call relocation programs that may be very beneficial to you. You'd be very surprised. Many of the Fortune 500 companies have what they call RMA. That's Relocation Mortgage Assistance. If your company does not have a relocation mortgage assistance program, fear not. What I would recommend, and there's several sources you can go to get a relocation mortgage specialist, is potentially, if you don't go to your employer, go to your bank. Where you bank at. Go to your lender. Even if you don't have a loan with your lender or with your bank, go to your bank. They have in-house relocation mortgage programs. And it's not because they do that on an occasional basis, but they do that actually for reciprocity. They find out if they're able to retain the business on someone whom they have an outstanding mortgage with, and they can relocate them, then instead of giving up that mortgage, they can retain them as a client. So fear for not. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to go solo, in terms of getting a relocation mortgage assistance program, I would recommend going to some of the larger brokerages out there. I don't usually drop names, but I mean Century 21 or Prudential, Keller Williams. Those are the go-to players that actually have specialists in their industry where they can, for lack of a better euphemism, hook you up, if you will, to a mortgage relocation specialist. They get preferred financial rates on their mortgage. Now, if you have to go this route, what do you want to do, numero uno? First thing you do when you're thinking about moving is get pre-approved. If you're going to a different part of the country, some of the guidelines might be slightly different, and some of the points and some of the interest rates, even though they're tied to the 10-year treasury, might be slightly different. There are specialists in this area. Think of it almost as a AAA card that we always use. It's such an extreme discount in terms of the rates that it makes sense to go to a national provider that have specialists that work in this area. What I'd also recommend, if you have to move and you're thinking about relocating, is once you've made the decision and you've got pre-qualified, get your home listed. Now, this assumes that you own a piece of property right now and you're going to buy another home. If you don't own a piece of property and you're a renter, then certainly all of the above is not applicable to yourself. But you'll want to get your home listed. That's first and foremost. After you do that, and you've gone to the multiple sources in which to get a relocation specialist, you want to ask specifically, do they have a bridge loan? Now, what's a bridge loan, you may ask? A bridge loan is when a relocation specialist will actually put a moratorium, a temporary stop wall, if you will, on the mortgage payments you make. Now, that can go up to 6 months. A lot of folks don't know about this, but it's certainly possible. And I would also, if you do get a bridge loan, where there's a moratorium and you're not paying two mortgage notes at the same time, is that you would tie that actually into the purchase contract onto the second home that you're buying, meaning that there's no reason to buy the second home if, in fact, your bridge loan isn't fully executed because you couldn't sell your first home. It's a great way to give you a little bit more leverage and find yourself in a situation, or to avoid a situation where you have two active mortgages. You may not have the capacity to pay for that. I will also say, if you happen to be very fortunate, and this is going back to the first point, where your mortgage or your employer has a relocation assistance program, it's very important. They actually may even buy your home from you. Now, that doesn't happen as often today as we'd like it because some of the properties, or many of the properties rather, are underwater and no one likes to write a check at escrow. Well, that's certainly an option. So let me recap here in terms of how to get a mortgage loan when relocating. Number one, ask your employer. They could have a great relocation assistance program. Ask your bank. They want to retain your business even if you don't have a loan with them. Ask your current lender, whomever that may be. They would love to retain that business. And or ask a national real estate firm. Those should be 4 opportunities to get the right type of experienced folks on your side and make the process absolutely seamless. Well, at the end of these tidbits, these videoettes that I like to call, I give suggested websites. I would recommend the nationalrelocation.com. Wonderful website, great resources. And I would also recommend relocation.com. With that, this is Sidney Potter. Thanks for your time. And I always say at the end of my discussions with folks, I'll see you at the finish line. Good day.